Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. Today we are starting a playthrough playlist with a brand new game within Timberborn. And remember, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Alright, we are going to be using the Iron Teeth clan and playing on the Thousand Islands map as suggested by Tony in the comment section. I'll also play on normal difficulty in case you want to try the playthrough out with me. I don't know why, but I just love using Canadian names for my beavers. Let's go with Beaverish Columbia. Kind of like British Columbia. Now, the priority of this first episode is to lock down on food and water, as that is what is going to make us survive the droughts that hit us. First off, we need to get ourselves some nice paths built up, ideally in a beautiful symmetrical way. Paths are built automatically, no worker help required. I'm also going to set up my future paths for access to the higher sections in the future. Next, we set up our water section. One water pump will be sufficient and a few water tanks to store the excess water. Now, we need to mark up the trees that we would like to chop down and build up some lumberjack flags to do just that. Next, we will need some gatherers to collect the berries, and now we can send the workers off to build. Another item of note is we will build some breeding pods. Iron Teeth don't mate. Weird, I know. Instead, they grow their babies in little barrels that consume berries and water. Beware though, they will take up your most precious early game resources. I end up building another water pump just for symmetry reasons, so silly really. Next thing we will want to take care of is research. Research will allow us to unlock some crucial things to accomplish our first goal, and that is platforms and foresters' huts. The reason we need the forester hut is because they will replant trees, giving us unlimited wood, and why I want to use platforms instead of just levees or dams is because the platforms use fewer resources to build and allow the water to flow underneath. For some reason, I totally forgot to build the first and initial farmhouse. Although I would love to make it over to my farm island, it is impossible to do until you have been hit by at least one drought. So that was a big mistake I made by not building that initial farmhouse, and we may see some beavers get a little hungry and possibly perish because of the mistake. Now, platforms, once unlocked, require logs and planks. Planks are simply refined logs. They require someone to work in a lumber mill, and that lumber mill must be powered, so it's a two-person job to get these planks made. Knowing that I'm going to need quite a few to get across this little canal here, I decided to construct the power wheel and lumber mill to get things moving forwards. They are now built. However, my workforce number is low, so I need to go steal some workers from the farmhouse that are sitting around waiting for the crops to grow. Next, we are going to want to build a levee or dam and completely block water from escaping this way next to my base. I'll need to unlock both levees and stairs, which requires a decent amount of my early game research. I'll then block off these other drain points, stopping water from leaving when a drought has arrived in the future. Now, the reason I want to get to that farm island is because the large hole on it. That will store water during a drought, and therefore the crops nearby will never die during a drought, unlike my current location. So we want to get there ASAP. Looks like some lumberjacks are just sitting around, so let's go ahead and build an industrial log pile to store the logs so they can do some more chopping. We reached enough research to unlock our first unlock, and I ended up going with the stairs. This way my beavers can go and dam off the first section with levees. The difference between a levee and a dam is a levee is 100% solid, whereas a dam is solid about 80% of the way and then has a gap at the top to let water overflow it, thereby reducing the likelihood of creating a flooded area. Our first crops are finally ready, so I need to rebalance out my workforce so that we can harvest those crops as quickly as possible. Then we can replant and hopefully get at least one more season out of the crops before the drought hits and kills them off. I left the priority of planting on so that they would plant immediately after they harvested, hopefully giving me more of a chance of getting new crops before the drought. Next, we unlock the forester. I noticed I was running out of trees and wouldn't be able to complete the construction of the levees and platforms unless I got more trees. I placed birch in the back, pine in the middle, and maple in the front. Birch gets me 1 log every 9 days, pine is 2 logs every 12 days, and maple is 8 logs every 30 days. I think it's good to have the different timings when the trees will be able to be harvested, giving you a steadier supply of logs, instead of planting all maples and having to wait 30 full days before being able to do anything. A cool thing I hadn't seen before Update 2.0 came out was the teeth sharpening grindstones. Our lumberjack beavers need to sharpen their teeth every now and again, almost like a real lumberjack needing to sharpen an axe. Great addition in my opinion. Once all crops are now planted, we need to reprioritize the workforce to other open jobs within BC. Then the most dreaded noise in the game, the drought countdown. We have 3 days until the drought hits. This is the amount of heads up you're always given no matter what. So we need to make sure our food and water supply is maxed out. I paused some of the breeding pods so that I can hold on to the berries and water for my beavers that are older and going to need to survive the drought. I decided to go ahead and research the levees and block off the water exit next to my base. The drought has started. You can see the impact the receding water has on our little beaver village. The trees turn brown and refuse to grow anymore, as do the crops. Now the crops have a short time span where they can be left without water. Sadly, the ones that have been growing will all end up dying off before the next water source arrives. The trees, however, will last quite a bit longer than that, so they just simply won't grow during dry times. We don't really have a lot of food, so I go get some gatherers to gather the last of the berries and hope that we can last this drought. I also realize that our plank manufacturer is just sitting there. Turns out he has maxed out his capacity for storing planks at 13, so I go ahead and build a storage for him to start stockpiling his planks at for our platform build down the road. Now it's time to get these platforms unlocked and built. I map out as straight of a line as I can to try to reduce the number of resources required to cross this little channel. I then toggle for the barrier on the other side to be demolished. That way the next time water is here, it will fill up the natural bowl or ditch for my future farms. We officially emptied our food reserves and still have 0.060 days left in the drought. That's not good. The drought has finally ended and water has returned, bringing new life to our village. I reactivate the forester so he can start planting new trees, and I check on the hunger levels of some of my beavers. We had 16 total when we ran out of food. If we can collect enough berries and get the crops to grow fast enough, we may not lose anyone. Our first death. It's only old age. Phew. I discovered that I had made a mistake and should have probably placed 2-tier platforms instead of stacking up 1-tier platforms, as it is cheaper to build the 2-tier platforms. I quickly update the blueprint to the more affordable option. Our second death, due to hunger, rip, heart. Another one, a third to hunger? I think some beavers are getting seconds and thirds before our other beavers are getting their first serving. A fourth, sorry about that beavers. A fifth? I really should have done the farmhouse earlier. Now we are going to struggle with our workforce for a little bit, but at least we won't have a food issue again as we get nearer to the island and have finally reached a harvest on the main island. Alright, we've made it. Now we immediately build a new farmhouse and then demolish that barrier to start filling up the water hole with some water. Then we start planting. Now I plant only resources that don't require any extra work to make them edible. Carrots and sunflower seeds from sunflowers can be eaten without any cooking or grilling required, as we don't have a large workforce. Farmhouse built. Now let's get some more farmers over here to start planting, and as we do that, the barrier is broken. And now we have our water source being stored and allowing for our crops to be watered and able to grow no matter the drought. Success! Now, as you watch me move around the base, let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's video sponsor is the #1 supporter of the Gaming CPA's channel, my amazing and wonderful wife. She continues to support me and what I do on this channel. Big shout out to the best sponsor in the world. Now let's see if we can get some W sponsor in chat. Back to the video. We've done it. We've reached Farm Isle and are looking forward to regaining our workforce back and expanding. We are going to have to repopulate for a bit and things may be slow, but we will very shortly move on to our next goal, automated power production. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it and want to hit that like button, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to stop by that subscribe button on your way, that would be awesome. Thanks everyone. Don't forget, maximize those deductions and pay less in taxes. Have a great day.